Okay, it is November 9th, 2021. It is 6:09 p.m. and the Peninsula Area Public Access Board meeting is now come to order. We will go on to roll call. We have myself, we have Silas, we have Eric, Charlie, and Jeff, and Darian is excused.
We also have Maxwell.
Oh, we also,
He's
is that
X.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Maxwell. All right. So, with that, do we have any additions to the agenda that anyone would like to make? Okay, seeing none. Do we have a motion to accept the agenda?
This Charlie so moved.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, using unanimous consent. Any opposed? Okay. The agenda is accepted with no additions. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up here in my email. So in the email, Silas, that you sent, you didn't do the full body. Oh, they did. Okay, it's attached on the bottom. Okay, I see it. All right. Sorry, it's minimized here. All right.
Do you want me to like share it on the screen?
Actually, yeah, that would be good in case, in case anyone wants to look at it as well. That would be a good idea to have it pulled up.
Okay, hold on just a second. Agendas 11:09. Yep. Share screen. Share. All right, can you see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Great.
All right, so we are on approval of minutes for previous meeting for the meeting of 10/12/21. Does anyone have any questions, corrections, concerns regarding the minutes?
Negative.
Okay, so with that, using unanimous consent, do we have a motion to approve the minutes and a second?
Go ahead, Charlie.
This Charlie so moved.
Okay, and the second?
I'll second it.
Okay, and then any opposed? Okay, so the motion to accept the meeting minutes for 10/12/21 passes. And moving on to community comments. It doesn't look like we had anyone today. So we will move on to chair report. So we have had a lot of homeless people over at the building. At the moment, I believe we have had 8 or 9 people trespass for 3 years. I had contacted the city police department. For some reason, we were not having the officers communicated that we are on the city trespass program. So unfortunately, before they weren't actually trespassing them, they were just telling them to leave and pick up their stuff. So I had a fairly lengthy conversation with the second to last officer who really was arguing with me in a polite way, saying that we weren't communicating, and I politely explained to him that it's not our responsibility to communicate the information of the department details. But however, every time we do call, if we're calling for trespass, we do have to inform the 911 operator, or if you're calling directly to the regular non-emergency operator, that we are part of the trespass program, and that they are to be trespassed for the maximum of 3 years. To reiterate that we are part of that program, so they don't need our signature. They can sign on our behalf and take care of business without having to have one of the members there. Everything else we've kind of just been on my end, just kind of been status quo. Me and Darian were up looking at the roof after our meeting, and it does seem like it's just some seams that are potentially not completely glued down around the skylights, or at the very least there's areas that are lifted that maybe is the reason why there's water coming in. Other than those two things, not much new to report. Does anyone have any questions?
Is there a plan with those seams and that stuff? Are we going to find somebody? Is that something you're interested in doing, Artur?
So the first step is to find the materials. Apparently we have leftovers of the adhesive that is used somewhere. So the first step would be to try and locate that. And if not, purchase the adhesive to tighten up those seams that appear to not be completely closed out. So that is something that I can do, but it does require temperature and moisture conditions. It can't be done anytime, unfortunately. It does require dry and semi warm, I think somewhere around the 60s to do so. Now, again, that's not ambient air temperature because the roof is going to be hotter than the ambient air temperature. The roof itself, the membrane, has to be heated up to a specific temperature for the bond to hold. So first step will be to look for that. If not, order it or purchase it locally. And then once we have some favorable weather conditions, then we can attempt to seal it up.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. No other questions? Okay, so then we will move on to the Treasury Report. And Charlie?
Yes, so Arthur, I was telling Eric and Silas, I didn't know how to do a report, so Eric told me how to do it on QuickBooks, and I'll have the report for both months next month. I've been paying bills as soon as they get here, even before the due date. So we're all caught up on bills. If I recall, it was right around $19,000 in there still. So still looks good as far as money, and we're all caught up and just trying to make sure I stay on top of the bills, and I'm checking the PO box at least 3 times a week. So looks like we're doing pretty well.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Charlie?
Did we
Okay.
ever get, did you ever figure out the receipts and stuff for Teleview? Did you said something about you didn't get receipts, maybe?
No, they send me a link to pay it every month.
Okay.
I can get a hold of Dan, or I'll send an email to Dan and loop you through, Charlie. Dan is the guy who does the Teleview billing stuff, and I'll talk to him about getting an updated, when we can start getting updated reports so we can put it into our, and also if anytime that you're sitting down at QuickBooks, Charlie, if you need to call me and have me walk you through the report part, do it. And it's fine anytime.
Okay, thanks. And Arthur, I have been, like you told me, putting the copies of the receipts in QuickBooks like you were telling me how to do it. So that's a pretty neat thing to do. It'd be nice if they could send us an acknowledgement of payment each month when we pay Teleview, and then I could just throw the receipt in there too.
They do send me a receipt of when we make the payment, but they don't send me an updated block.
Okay, I mean,
So I can forward those to you.
okay, yeah, that'd be great. Then I'll just make copies and put them in the images in line with the bills.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you like that. I think it's a very beneficial part of the actual QuickBooks that unfortunately, I don't know why it doesn't allow it for other than an attachment on a regular computer, but the phone and or mobile app on a tablet, it really is very conducive to doing a lot of the stuff and having the reports on hand.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
take a picture of the receipt and save it to my computer, and then just attach it that way. I'm not much for doing phones. It's too hard on my eyes. So
Sure. Okay, does anyone have any further questions for Charlie? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to Darian's not here, so we can't move on to that. Programming report, Eric.
Not much here because I do have some stuff to talk about down below. But just to let you guys know that the programming is still going fine. I'm in there every day, making sure that we're getting it updated. So I've had zero problems connecting up, doing what I got to do from here. Everything's still running smooth as can be.
Okay, does anyone have any questions for Eric?
Yeah, I'm just curious, like we're up to date on airing PA council meetings, right?
No, we are not, because the last two council meetings have been unavailable.
Okay.
They have been unavailable on Facebook, or not Facebook, on YouTube, which is where they post them. And I believe, Charlie, did you guys have your last meeting on Wednesday instead of Tuesday?
Yes, we never meet on election night, so that's just happens every 2 years.
Yeah, I went to go do the YouTube look for the last meeting, and it was live with them, so I had to wait. Neither one's been, the last two from this last month have not been posted by their IT at all. So no, we're not up to date.
I'll shoot IT an email and see what the deal is with getting those posted.
Okay.
And how often do we air those in a week, like after the meeting has happened?
3 times.
In like that same week or spread out?
Yeah,
over...
so on the, can I share my screen for a minute?
Yeah, let me unshare. And then let me give you, this is where
Yeah, and I got my copy, so if you guys need to just
give me just a second to pull this up here and I'll show you here.
Here. Allow, wait, where is that? Is that just allow multiple share, right? Multiple participants can share this simultaneously. Do you have sharing permission now, Eric?
Let's find out. It says, okay, so share. I don't know how it's doing it. When I click it, it's numbering my monitors.
It's probably looking for the.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Hold on. You guys see that?
Oh yeah, there we go.
Okay, so here's channel 21. And so it's 4 times a week.
Great.
Normally I try to get it late Tuesday night, pull it down and do the editing by Wednesday morning to, cut out the break and stuff like that and get it up. So it's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday is when those will air.
Okay. So I'm just curious if the board has any objection if I started like working on putting a program together to get more other city councils like Squim, Forks, and then also the county, any kind of county meetings we can get. Is the board opposed to me trying to like anything that's low hanging fruit to trying to get that on so we can put that in our programming? So I just think we need to really focus on getting more local programming in here.
I'm not opposed.
I don't think there's any objection to that. The only thing that we didn't have before was the Squim one, and that was we were trying to tempt them into the whole contract. But at this point, yeah, you're absolutely correct. We should just anything that we can easily rip or integrate into the system to fill in time and more local things. I think we should all agree that that's very beneficial.
Great.
I don't know how to unshare now, guys.
Sorry,
you can up top. You can just hit stop sharing. I think up on the top of that, or let me see if I can just boot you.
Yeah, I don't have it. It just disappeared. It just shows me the panel of video now. There we go.
I boot you.
There you go.
Okay,
all right.
Great.
Does anyone have any further questions for Eric regarding programming? Eric, actually, I'll just have a quick follow-up. How's the other channel
Doing fine.
programming?
Again, I mean, I've got the same schedule. I've got I do have stuff coming in from Hess Hughes that I'm constantly updating. So once I hit the end, it's just like the other ones, just like with Positively Port Angeles. When I get to the end, I start all over and I play them through until I get the new one, and then it falls in line and I start to run all over. So yeah, we're getting updates for both those ones. And again, here in a little bit, I'm going to talk about some more programming.
Okay. Any further questions for Eric? Okay, so we will move on to outreach and fundraising. I reached out again to CDS, and they are unsure if they were going to renew at the moment. They are doing some searching for employees, and that's their main focus at the moment. So I'm going to try and reach out to them in another week or so and see if things have died down there. Other than that, just been reaching out to the city police department a lot more frequently.
Like to actually do something, like to put something on the channel?
No, more so for the unwanted visitors. But
Yeah, fair enough.
does anyone have any questions?
I'm sorry, who is CDS again, Arthur?
It's a commercial driving school down in Port Orchard.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thank you.
They were part of our organizational membership before, and I'm trying to get them to renew. Okay, anyone else have any more questions?
Did you notice we got the lock replaced there, Arthur, on the gate?
I didn't. I was going to pull in, but there was a white vehicle parked in the driveway. So at the time when I go there, it's pretty late. So I'm just really stopping right in front of the building, doing a quick lap back and forth by the building. And then most of the drive-bys that I do prevent me from stopping, which, completely off subject. But I really think the city did an absolutely poor job of doing those streets with all those concrete barriers down there on Lincoln. I think that is such a hazard and a hassle, but that's just my little off-topic 2 cents.
And Silas, I don't know whether you mean to share your screen, but you are.
Am I sharing the screen or am I sharing?
You're sharing the agenda.
The agenda, yeah. Just so Arthur can reference it.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got mine pulled up and locked in now. So.
Oh, okay. I'll unshare then.
Yeah. Thank you, though. That was appreciated till I got that fixed. No, the only reason why I say that is because my personal experience with those things is that it causes a lot of other low visibility accidents with older people. We've had that in Chicago. And then the other problem is that plows rip those things up in the winter times. But anyway, off topic, getting back on topic. So we are moving on to the committees no committees met, right?
No, but
our
quick station manager report.
Okay.
I don't really have anything other than, like Arthur, I've actually called and had people trespassed as well. When Shauna goes by, or some of my friends go by, like the other day, Shauna went by and there were people laying all up the entire ramp. So I called the police department and had them go down there. Again, like Arthur was saying, I had to explain to them, we have posted with the RCW, no trespassing right there. So, but other than that, that's all I have on the station manager report, is just like Arthur said, just running people off.
Yeah, and just remember, when you do call the PD, you do have to state we are on the trespass program, that we want them trespassed for 3 years, with a maximum of 3 years, and we want them to pick their stuff up. You literally have to say that sentence to the operator. They input it into the system, and then they receive that, whoever is dispatched. So
Gotcha.
that helps alleviate them running them off without actually trespassing them and or making them clean up.
Yeah, I've just been telling them we want them trespassed.
Yeah.
So, but I will let them know that we're on the program.
Yeah. So that phrase, you basically just have to repeat that. Okay. Does anyone have any other questions for Eric? Okay. Seeing none, we will move on. So again, so our meeting for the financial, that's the finance committee. So we
kind of met.
Yeah, we technically did meet. I don't remember who's chairing that for the committee.
It was Shauna before she stepped down.
Yeah, we probably have to go
Okay.
through and redo committees, to be honest. But we basically just had an initial budget conversation, but I think at the end of the day, whatever we talk about, Eric, you really need to be a part of that conversation.
And did you guys get a copy of that 2020 budget I sent you? I sent an email out with a bunch of stuff attached to it. One of the things I said is that I found the 2020 budget, if anybody wants to use that as reference.
Wow, I don't recall that at all, but
Yeah,
let
I don't think I have that either.
Hold on, let me look at my sent mail and then I will. Yeah, it was the one that was that had the equipment inventory.
Oh, I remember seeing. I didn't look at the equipment inventory yet, but that was where it was. Okay.
Yeah, I had like 3 documents on there. One was the letter from me for the equipment that Papa got off me, the letter that we got for TechSoup for the systems we got, and then the 2020 budget that I found.
Layout. I see it now. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I did not get that far.
Okay, so if that will help everybody, there's that. The only thing that shouldn't be on there is the Telview bill. So everything else should be up on there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and find it because I'm not seeing it on mine. You sent it to the whole board?
No, it's just to me. Here, let me forward it out to the whole board.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did send it to just Silas. Sorry.
Yeah, why don't you just go ahead and forward that to everyone, Eric, and that way we can.
I just forwarded it to the whole board.
So, first of all, I will tell everybody I am horrible sometimes about hitting reply instead of reply all. So it's only going to the person who initially sent it. So I apologize for that.
No, that's okay. As long as it gets to us, and that's all good.
So one question though then is, Eric, I did ask about, and we didn't get I don't think I got an email back, was about, do you have a gauge of like how many people have created programming for us? 2019, 2020.
We have 2.
And that's it for the last 2 years. No one else.
Nope.
You keep saying something about Positively Port Angeles. Are they creating content?
That's Ralph Smith.
What's that?
Positively Port Angeles was Ralph Smith's show.
Oh, okay.
And it's just being re-aired under his company because it was his company that did it. They're trying to get Sherry to redo episodes, which apparently she's very interested in, but she hasn't yet. The only other 2 that we're getting is we're getting updated from Scott Hughes and Hess Hughes Ministries and Ralph Smith for Life Journey. So other than that, that's it. Everything else I plug in. I've been plugging in from Peg Media, from Telview Connect, and any PSAs and stuff that I can pick up.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's all you.
I don't know, but after we're done with catching up on these documents, I think it might be a good idea maybe just to try and do a little something to spotlight the city ourselves, create little PSAs ourselves or something to throw into the mix at some point, especially once we're done with this catching up on the documents, just to put in some local stuff. All right, so Okay, so that was all the committees. Old business, Port Townsend contract, Eric.
All right, as some of you know, or all of you should know by now, we lost the Port Townsend contract. It was awarded to the radio station. Now, Heidi's big about us still working with the radio station, but here's the issue. As Silas knows, because he's been to these meetings with me, there is very little budget that they get at all for their channel. And I guarantee you that the radio station's not going to pay us or pay us very much to maintain and run that channel. And I mean, I'm willing to listen to them and to sit down with them and talk it over. But if we ain't going to get anything for doing it, that's extra work for no benefit to Papa. And as much as I love the fact about having us, be able to cover 2 counties, which is what I've been fighting for the last year and a half, without any benefit towards us, we're just doing the extra work for nothing. So, yeah, I mean, if they reach out, which she's supposed to be encouraging them to do, if they reach out, I'm willing to have a meeting with them and listen to them. I mean, that's not going to hurt anything. But if they try to ask, I mean, personally, as a person doing the programming, if they're asking us to do everything that we'd asked, or we said we were going to do about managing and maintaining their 2 channels and content, and then we don't get anything for it, I don't think we should do it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. We wouldn't want to create labor for us.
I just want to reflect. Okay. Maxwell, let me read it. Maxwell said, I disagree. This is a massive benefit to being an effective community media partner. I completely agree with him. And I also would say, why do we necessarily have to do their programming? Why don't we maybe suggest to them, hey, if you open up 2 ports, you don't have to pay for any automation hardware or software, but you have to do all your own programming. If you want us to do programming, then we will figure out some kind of financial agreement. But I mean, I think this is a golden opportunity to really help expand our partnerships, outside of just Clallam County, and should not be missed just because we're worried about $2,000.
No. Okay, so let me reiterate, because Charlie wasn't here during the big talks here. Maxwell wasn't here. So let me tell you what was being talked about. The entire deal was that we were going to pick up and then maintain the 2 streams for channel 98, 99, and Port Townsend. We were maintaining it. The radio station only wanted to do the programming for the events they covered. Everything else was supposed to be handled by us. That's exactly what the deal was supposed to be. They wanted us to when I talked to the radio station, they were all about, we can manage anything, but as long as they did events, they wanted full control over them airing the events, which I know there's quite a few events that happen throughout the year in Port Townsend, but you're talking a lot. I mean, guys, to be honest with you, the programming is fairly easy once you get everything slotted in, but to maintain 4 channels for us being paid for the price of 2, trying to find programming that benefits Jefferson County and not just Clallam County, that's a headache. That's hard to do. And I understand that it's benefits, but it would only benefit us in the long run if we had a broad reach. And we don't have hardly anybody watching this channel, I promise you. Neither one yet. We've got to work on advertising, but at the moment, we're not. We don't have that big of a reach right now. Not as much as people think we do.
So one thing that I'm going to interject here is that while the concept of working with them is a good concept, we do have to remember that when we're using our systems, that creates a maintenance cost. It creates added stresses on our system that we're paying for. So it's not. We have to factor in those hidden costs. It's not just labor. It is added stress on equipment that is created as well. So while I agree,
it costs us. It costs us $2,000 to open up the channels.
so while I agree that partnering does create a lot of benefit in terms of we could be doing a lot of branding for Papa and bringing the communities together, that would take quite some time to establish that branding, as well as reaching out and having the viewership to have it pan out to make it really be worthwhile in terms of if we're covering any costs and or stresses on the system. So I agree, it's a good thing to figure out if we can partner with them, but I don't think it should be at a zero sum.
I don't think anybody's saying it should be a zero sum. And Maxwell says if the contract has fallen through, then we can renegotiate responsibilities and we can pare down and find a mutual benefit. This way we can build towards, a bigger reach and a greater and better content overall. So, and I think that's right. Like, we just have to go back to the drawing board and be creative, because at the end of the day, the city did not want to be in between the radio station and us. And so they just said, let's let the radio station be the key player, and they can figure out who does the distribution. But there is a bigger question though. What is the reality of Wave dealing with us with that? And that will be another headache we'll probably have to.
Yeah, so just to let the board know, that is one thing they're moving that radio station down to what is that, Fort
Warden.
Fort Warden. Wave does not go down there, and they are fairly sure that all they have to do is ask Wave to drop a cable line down there.
Well,
and I promise you, it's not going to be that easy.
I don't think we know any details, Eric. I don't think you can actually speculate on that right now.
No, he told me that Wave does not go down there and that they have to.
How long ago?
Just a couple months ago when we talked to them.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think it's such stuff at Fort Warden is so fluid right now that we have no idea what's going on.
Well, the thing is also, you also got to understand they have not had anybody doing any content on their channel for almost 3 years.
I know.
Yeah. So we're getting a little bit off topic to the point here. So let me bring us back here. I think with what Eric said originally kind of does encompass everything that we're talking about. We do need to reach out to them and maintain a line of communication. So if the radio station was awarded the contract, then we just need to communicate with them and see if there's any way that we can partner up, and what would that look like if they're going to be the point people. That'll kind of bring this conversation at a later date to fine tune, well, how do we approach them based on information? So one of the things that we could do is set up a meeting with them to communicate that we're still interested in helping them out, and maybe figure out some points of communication, some topics that we can discuss with them with the knowledge that we have to say, hey, these are the things we can do for you. Here are some of the costs that are non-negotiable. For example, like Eric said, those 2 ports, that's a flat off fee that they would have to cover themselves. It's just 2 ports if they wanted to do that, and then go from there. So any other questions or concerns regarding the Port Townsend contract?
Yeah, excuse my ignorance, guys, because I'm not really familiar with this stuff. Doesn't Peninsula College operate out of Fort Warden? Wouldn't they have to have some type of media source to connect with internet?
Well, even if they have internet, it doesn't necessarily mean Wave. They could have DSL or satellite connection or something like that.
Okay, so that's why I don't understand that kind of stuff. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, any other further questions on this topic? Okay, seeing none, we will maybe make a note to Eric to set up a meeting at some point to just discuss some potential. So I guess we need to do a quick work session to maybe pan out some details that we could do for them, and maybe iron out some costs that are solid costs that are related to anything that we have to do in terms of opening ports or lines that are, just non-negotiable, and then set up a meeting with them to discuss that. Okay, that brings us to cleaning day budget conversation, which we kind of touched on. Who is that?
I think I just put it on there because I think there should be a report that, we did all, I mean, there were 4 of us down there, and we worked on cleaning. We worked on talking about what is in our budget, what are some of the expenses, what else do we do? You looked at the roof.
Yeah, we looked at the roof. We did some general cleaning. We discussed some of the QuickBooks functions, and we went through some of the reports that were gathered up. We found, I believe, some of the paperwork that was needed to help out with going forward on the audit.
When are our documents due to the city? Remind me of that again. Is that the end of this month or the end
December 1.
Okay. Ooh, okay.
I mean, I think it's going to be very difficult to get it there, but we need to at least show them that we're making progress.
And maybe we could send them an email letting them know that we're moving along, getting further along, and how far we are in terms of maybe percentage. Like if we're 80% there, just let them know that
Here's what we're hung up on,
Yeah. Just so that way they don't think we're blowing them off. So we did that. We also discussed a little bit of the downstairs planning. We discussed potentially just sectioning off the bottom to making that bottom a little bit more open. We also discussed potentially manning the downstairs, leaving it open for tours to aid with keeping the downstairs open and accessible to the public. I think that was the gist of it. If anyone else recalls anything I missed. Okay, hearing none, I think that probably captures that day. All right, so we will move on to Zoom. Silas, take it away.
To Zoom? To the annual report?
Well, it just says C, Zoom.
You have it on there still, Zoom.
Oh, sorry.
We're on it.
I was just looking at, I think I'm looking at my old agenda. Yeah, Zoom. I just want to let you guys know that we're on Zoom now. And we set up a year subscription. I ended up having trouble with the old credit card that I had, so I ended up personally purchasing this, and at some point I will probably just give a receipt to Charlie, and I may just make it a donation, just to keep
Did
things
did you renew your membership, Silas?
I haven't,
So we can apply. What was the cost?
150.
So we can credit you the membership and get you renewed with that, and then the rest as a donation if you want to, and or refund or reimbursed.
We'll figure something out. So
that's quite a bit of money, and I don't have access to a checkbook. So I mean, do we want to vote on how we're going to handle that? And maybe I kind of feel like we should write Silas a check for that. And
I think the simplest thing is for me to give you the receipts, and then you reimburse me, and then I'm probably just going to buy a producer membership, like the high level, just as here you go. So
interjection here, Charlie, for you. That little gray filing cabinet under the computer is where the checkbook is.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I saw a checkbook.
I can't do anything with it because I'm not authorized to sign checks.
Oh yeah, Arthur, you and Arthur's got to get together on that one.
Yeah, Charlie, if you fill it out and you have it ready, I can sign off on it.
So brings up an important point. Are you guys going to work on transferring Charlie over to the bank account?
Yes, and actually I was going to bring that up in our voting stuff here. We should probably condense that to after we do the voting and have our new board, because those are the responsibilities of the executives.
Okay.
So it kind of ties in.
That probably doesn't happen until next meeting.
Right.
Just so you know, I just put that on there. It's something we need to discuss now, so we're ready next meeting.
Well, so we have to do nominations.
Yeah, it says 10 days prior to the last meeting, but you have to have the election in the last meeting of the year.
Right. So but didn't we discuss that we were making it that the nominations were going to be the meeting before?
I don't think that's exactly how it's worded in it says 10 days prior to the last meeting.
No, right. I know how how we structured it, but didn't we agree that we were going to be doing the official the announcements for who wants to run or who wants what position the meeting before?
It doesn't
I
say that in
think-
the bylaws.
I think that what we ought to do is up to 10 days prior to the meeting, anybody who's wanting to get in on a position, do the nominations through email to the entire board. That way the board can see who's nominating for what. And we can't take nominations after the 10 days prior. So that way we've got 10 days to think about which way we're going to vote. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but my only concern is like what happens if nobody does anything?
Meaning what? I'm sorry, I'm not.
So if nobody says I want to nominate myself for blah blah blah, does that just automatically mean everybody carries through?
No, because we.
I mean, there's no reason you can't like at the last minute say, "Hey, I'd like to nominate myself on the day of the meeting." But we do need to make it clear, like I think a meeting before, hey, this is happening next meeting, so we'd encourage you to state what you want to do. I don't know, that's just my feeling. I just worry about.
That would be this meeting, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Right, and hence why I was thinking. I vaguely remember. Now I could be just misremembering, but I thought we did for that specific reason. Mention the meeting, the month meeting prior to the vote, that this was going to be where we discussed who wants to run ahead of time, in case someone wanted to I don't say lobby. What's the word I'm looking for? But sorry, I'm drawing a blank on the word. But just like in politics, like to give your spiel to.
Election, I'll just read it. Election of officers. The officers of PAPA shall be chosen by a majority vote of the board to serve at the pleasure of the board. Nominations of the officers shall be on an as-needed basis, but no less than 10 days before the final board meeting at the end of the year. Nominations will come from the board, and the director may not nominate them, and directors may nominate themselves for any office. After nominations are placed, ballots may be tallied in the same manner as the election of the directors. Newly elected officers will take office January 1st of the following year. Vacancies. Any vacancies in the board shall be filled for unexpired term by an ordinary resolution of the board. So.
Yeah, I remember the verbiage more or less. I'm just what I'm having difficulty recalling is that we had a conversation that this wasn't anything official. I don't recall. I said that I vaguely, like I said, I vaguely remember us discussing candidates the month before, but that's if we want to just stick.
I think it was brought up when we were redoing the bylaws, when we were going over the bylaws. Nothing was ever decided on it though.
We talked about it. It would be nice to discuss it more than that meeting, because that's what happened. Is we ended up talking about it at the meeting and then voting, and it was such a cluster that I think that's one of the reasons that there's that 10 days is in there now. So
well, it's the no less than, that's the thing that I'm recalling about because it's the no less than 10 days, and being that we don't meet other than board meetings, this is where I was recalling the month before being the.
Yeah, but we definitely said we could do this on email. Like we could do the.
Okay.
Stating your.
So I have no problem with that. I just, since it's on the agenda, it is on the agenda, right?
It is.
Yeah, that's why I figured that we were doing it today.
Well, we're not voting today.
No, not voting, but discussing whoever may want to be what.
I mean, we can discuss it. That's why it's on here.
Yeah.
But it's not mandatory by any means.
Right. I think we should, so that we should open, or it can be opened up to the board. So if someone wants to vocalize their interest, I think today would be a good day to do it, and just discuss it. So, okay, where are we at here? So before we get off on Zoom, we kind of got sidetracked. Silas,
So will these meetings be able to be posted on Facebook now, or I'm not Facebook, but YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube, and they can go on Facebook, and they'll go on air. We'll air them.
Okay, so that'll be, this meeting will be posted.
Yeah.
How soon does it take? Kind of like,
We can be posted tonight.
oh,
The reason, Charlie, the reason we haven't been doing them is because the old way, we kept losing audio. So we couldn't get any audio for the meeting at all.
yeah, I remember we couldn't post them, so I thought maybe this new format will help us post them better. So that's great.
Well, we're paying for it now, so tonight will be our first official test. Make sure we have audio, video working correctly, because it was from the same platform. So right, or no, actually no, it wasn't. That was Google. Okay, so or was it Google?
It was Google.
It was Google. Okay. So anything else on the Zoom topic for Silas? Any questions, comments, or concerns on that? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to D, Dr. Ralph proposal. Eric?
Okay, this one I want to table again until next meeting. This was about Dr. Ralph's mention about running a full page ad for Papa. I'm going to be having a meeting with Ralph here soon. So I'm going to ask him exactly what he wants to do so I can get all the details and run it by the board first. So until I get to have that meeting with him, let's just table that one.
Okay, just make sure, ask him for like a proof. So,
Right.
Get to have him lay one out, and then kind of like editors will look over it and whether approve it or ask for tweaks or what have you.
And he knows all the steps that we got to go through to get this approved. So he's
Okay.
been there.
All right, so topic D is tabled. New business, annual report.
Yes. Okay. So, sorry, I'm just typing our notes from about Dr. Ralph. So basically, we're just tabling this, right?
The D, topic D?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, just leave it on old business for now.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, annual report is obviously due December 1st. We did make some headway with the accountant. Finally, it was a nightmare trying to get them onto our QuickBooks. Yeah, but I finally managed to get them onto it after 40 phone calls. And she sent us a list of things to do. I'm sorry, I was in Bellevue last week and I just did not have a chance to track anything down. Charlie, I know you started. Did you? What were your obstacles? What were your barriers?
It would not go back past March of 2020. I couldn't get anything on the bank statements past March of 2020 or QuickBooks. But the bank statement was supposed to be simple, but when you search history, it'll only go back as far as March of 2020.
So, go ahead.
I think I brought it up too, if I didn't send it out to everybody. I'm not quite sure where we find those reports because March 2020, Elizabeth was still our treasurer. So
I mean, Elizabeth kept everything filed.
that's what I thought.
Did you go look?
I have one looked.
Oh, okay. So I think that's the next step is.
I don't even have the keys to those drawers. So.
I mean, they're right there on the desk, aren't they? When you look in the files, I think it's in the long horizontal cabinet. There's like binders, and there's a 2020 binder, I believe, a 2019 binder of bank statements. So I can go in and look this week. So we need December and the last one of 2019, the last one of 2020. Is that right, Charlie?
Yeah.
And you didn't get there? Neither of those were. And the other thing is, I was like, we could just go to the bank. But this is where it gets complicated because I think only Artur is the one who can do it.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you guys can call and request it, and then I can come and do that, picking it up if they need me to come there with an ID, or the other option would be I might be able to have some time tomorrow afternoon or Thursday, probably Thursday, more likely, after work to go down there.
They'll be closed Thursday.
What's that?
They'll be closed for Veterans Day on Thursday.
Oh, okay. I can make some time. I think they're open on Saturday, if I remember correctly. If you want, I can do
I
probably
think till
Saturday morning.
noon. I think they are until noon.
So if you want, we can set up a time to go down there. If you don't, if you're not able to access it through the QuickBooks, then I can meet whoever wants to meet down there with the information that's needed and have them pull it.
Okay. Well, why don't I'll stop in the office tomorrow and go through the files and then see if I can't find anything. If I can't find anything, I'll email you guys and let you know.
Okay. Yeah, and if you can't find it, just let me know what you need. If you itemize it, then I could probably even go down there.
Well, there was the email. Did you see the email?
We need a copy of the 12/31/19 bank statement. We need a statement of financial position that shows the balance in petty cash fund as of 12/31/19 as $52.40. They didn't know if that was accurate or not.
Can you email me
exactly
what you need?
It was sent to you on November 2nd at 11:57 p.m.
November 6th. For some reason,
I sent it to Eric, you, and me. Copy of the Washington Depot of Department of Revenue report from 2019 showing a $5.26 of tax due as shown on the SFP, whatever that is. And there was a question about a deposit. There was a question about a deposit made from the city that was misclassified. That was posted to waive subscription. No one didn't know if that was correct. So there's questions that I can't answer because I don't have access to any of this stuff. And like Eric said, it's probably the lady previous to Shauna.
Yeah, Elizabeth is the one who probably has the most information regarding this stuff.
Possibly it could be in the files. I wish I could meet you down there, Silas, but I'm off Thursday if you want to wait till then.
Yeah, I can meet you Thursday.
Okay, yeah. We'll just set up a time, but I don't know. I'm not feeling very positive about finding stuff.
I mean, let's just go down there Thursday and look, and then we'll go from there.
Do you guys have Elizabeth's phone number?
I've talked to Elizabeth. I just am not comfortable involving her until we've exhausted other means. So, because she resigned from the board. This is not her. It's not her cross to bear.
She did, but it was amicable, and she did vocalize that she would be willing to help. If something's needed, if something,
Yeah, but we also have the tools at our disposal to find some of these things. So let's do that first, and then.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, worst case scenario, if you make sure you guys have her phone number.
Yeah, I've talked to her already once in this process. Okay. So, okay, so we just need to track down the rest of that list.
Okay.
Okay, and Eric sent me an equipment list, so I guess we'll just use that and add the other 2 cameras or whatever's on that other list that she had.
And the Telview equipment, which I sent you that too.
Eric, Eric, would you mind just consolidating one list so I just have something easy that I can put in the report?
Sure.
Yeah. So, and those other 2 cameras. Did I send you that? I'll send you the other list that I have. That I think the first list that we sent them in 2018. And if you could
send me that list, and I'll consolidate them all.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we have an updated list. Okay, Eric will update. Okay, and then board of directors, I can pull that pretty easily from previous board meeting minutes. Okay. So the only thing that is a big question mark for me is the programming report. And I actually haven't seen what they gave the city in 2018.
I had a talk with them about this. We do not get statistics about our channel.
I don't think that's what they're looking for, Eric.
I think that's what it said. It is what it said in the thing. That is what it said.
So, okay, that was one of the things that was asked for. However, we did explain that we can't get that it's not possible. So what we did, I recall previously, the report for programming just basically listed all the programs that we're using, that we're running. Anything new, we kind of itemized all the stuff that we've kind of aired as the report.
You want me to just make a report with all the shows that we aired on both channels?
Yeah, that's just make a
can do
list
that.
of. Yeah,
That's
just make a
that's
list of that.
something. Yeah, I think that's definitely
can do that.
something. I think we also
And
need to.
it looks like who? I'm sorry. Got to go. Good night. Thanks, guys. Who was that from? That was.
That's from Maxwell. He's got to go.
Okay.
It is 7:00. So yeah, I think basically they I mean, Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong, but they are really looking to see how is the public interacting with this channel. How is the city benefiting, or how are citizens benefiting from the funds that are going into this channel? So any way we can show that, in one of the big things that we're going to be able to show is we now are on all these other channels and we're spreading out our content throughout the county, and it doesn't have to be on Wave anymore. That's a big thing. And we also, I think we can lean on COVID has been a decimator for us. And
So one suggestion,
we only can pick up from here.
Yeah, so one suggestion that I can add in for thought, which doesn't technically give stats to the channel, but we can kind of cross-reference our average interaction from Facebook or YouTube, just to be like, hey, here's how many hits we get. And I mean, that's on average, related to, the programs or the station's programs and just community outreach. So that's really the one statistic that we can kind of pull, even though it's not completely relevant.
I mean, the whole, like, the outreach during the pandemic was actually a big effort that we should document and show how our social really grew, and how a lot of people relied on us to hear what Dr. Barry was saying. So I think that's definitely one angle.
Yeah. So Eric, if you want to do that, just get that list of programming and then maybe look back on the Facebook stats to see what can be pulled out of that to help.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do as far as that goes. What I'll submit is I'll submit a list of the programming where we get it from, as well as the fact that we have 2 people submitting programming right now currently.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions for Silas regarding the annual report topic of all those things that we covered?
Eric, I have one other question for you. Can you tell me then, in 2019, were there more people submitting programming or no?
There was one more person submitting programming.
Yes, I said, didn't we have the church thing or
And it's been, yeah.
Okay.
And he had talked about doing it again. I've talked to him a few times. He just hasn't done it. He said that he had dropped off all his programs on a hard drive that had been given to the previous person handling programming. And he didn't know if he could find those programs again. So he was going to look. So he just wanted us to re-air all the ones he had.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we will move on to new program offerings.
Okay. Everybody get that email about the show submissions?
Yes.
I had been contacted by a man named Steven. He's talked to me on the phone several times. They submit shows to Telview Connect, and they have it as well. They touch on, I don't know. They touch on eco living and how to eat healthy and things like that. They do it in multiple languages. They do have, when I first watched the shows, because I always preview everything. When I first watched the shows, I was very skeptical because of the way it was done. I didn't feel it was theirs. He can provide documentation that they have the right to air all of that. So I said, that's fine, because we would need it before I put it on air anyways to cover our butts. But I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that we did have another taker, and he's wanting to submit like 12 different shows to the program. So that would be nice. That's gonna be nice adding to the spread there.
Is this a local person?
He is now. He wasn't before, and I don't think he's gonna stay local. He's been doing I forget where he said he was from. He was from out of state. He's been dealing with Toby Video for a lot, and I think that's where he found us. Actually, was through Telview. I'm still gonna have some talks with him about it. I want to know what blocks of programming. We have to work out the scheduling, all of that, because I have to have specific times of day where I'm going to move programming around and stuff like that. But
What are her shows?
I have a list of them on that email.
Tiny houses. Dr.
Oh,
Steve.
it's in that email. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all in the email.
I'll go look at that. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like nature's approach to osteoarthritis, things like that. You know, it's healthy living stuff and eco-friendly stuff, and it's pretty interesting. I watched the first 4 shows there. So about 2 hours worth of programming there. I watched it just to see what kind of programming they were offering, and so yeah, I've still got a couple more meetings to go with him, but I wanted to let the board know that we do have a big chunk of shows that's more than likely going to start being aired.
Okay, nice.
Okay.
Any further questions for Eric? Okay, we'll move on to shared documents folder. Silas.
I just want to let everybody know I'm working on creating on our Google shared space, basically where all the minutes go, all the things that we have asked for in the past, like contracts and stuff like that. I'd like us to be able to have a centralized place that we're storing all this stuff. So I've started working on it, and I think I've already invited Eric and Arthur, but I'm going to spread it out to the rest of the board here soon. So
we were using, what was that, Nextcloud as well before or something? Was it Nextcloud?
We have our own cloud server, yes, but
is there anything on it?
I don't know how to admin that. That was all handled by Jonathan. So I would have to call Jonathan.
Yeah, there was the main drive. You could access pretty much everything that's on the computers. And you're right, Eric, someone does have to administrate that to create the links of who is allowed to use it. So,
and it's Linux based, which cuts me off. It's Linux based, which cuts me off. I'm not a Linux user.
Okay, so if we want to just do a Google thing or whatever, that's fine.
Can we figure out how to get access to that and see what's there? But I'd say we shift away from that.
Yeah, I'll call Jonathan this week.
Yeah,
see if I can get through to him.
Okay.
I think his work schedule's changed up. He's only an hour ahead of us anyway, so.
Great.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to add to that, Silas, or?
No.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Silas regarding the shared document? Okay. So we'll move on to elections. Okay, so as you guys know, we're going to be having the elections next month. If anyone wants to voice their wanting to throw their hat into the ring for any of those positions, feel free to nominate yourselves or discuss what you would like. Like I did state, I was going to step down as president. Well, not step down, just I wasn't going to run again at the moment. So
I don't think you can for one term, can you? I think this was the end of your stretch. This one. I think you had to give a one term pause after this stretch anyways.
Okay, well, regardless of, so whoever, if someone wants to throw their hat into the ring for chair, vice chair, wants to talk about it, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I think we should just do an informal poll. Like, what are people interested in? You know, what makes the most sense going forward? Obviously, Charlie's just stepping into treasurer, so I don't know if that's what you want to. Now that you've had a taste of it.
Yeah.
No, I'll try sticking with it if you guys want to nominate me, and I wouldn't mind throwing Silas's hat in the ring for people to think about for president. So
The chair, yeah. I'm totally open to it. I really, my goal is going to be to get more, to fill out our board with people who can actually contribute, more people that can contribute, you know? So, I mean, I definitely feel like I've been taking on more and more and more responsibilities. Just because I don't want to see this collapse, and that is
Right.
where we're headed. Because they're actually, I will give it to everybody who worked on this, like back in the beginning, that they build an infrastructure and it's there. I think we just need to like work on getting entities like Peninsula College involved, maybe the high school involved, re-involved.
And they were involved at one time. There was just some fallouts in the past, but and
Yeah.
I agree with you, Silas. You know, there's been, when the wind went out of everybody's sails when COVID hit, you know, at the end of that year, I honestly had thought for a while about possibly tossing in my hat, but I want to see this continue on. I've helped build a lot over the last couple of years with this, and I think I'm going to stick with it, you know, at least for a while longer. I wouldn't mind it, you know, running again for the vice chair. I'm happy right there. I don't need to go ahead right now. I got a lot on my plate with some other stuff coming up, which I will talk about. I'm going to make an announcement about that, but I got some more stuff coming up, so I don't mind nominating. I wouldn't mind staying as vice chair if everybody will keep me there. So
Just wanted to check, is the computer, is the monitors frozen, or is it just mine?
It's just yours.
Okay, because I'm stuck on Charlie from before, so.
you're a lucky guy, Artur. So I was kind of wishing Maxwell had hung around to see if he was interested. Can we throw,
Wait, let me text him. Hold on. Let me just text him.
can we throw names in the hat tonight and then do the election on the next meeting?
That's exactly, yeah, we're
I
not
don't mind
doing,
doing that.
Okay.
yeah, we're not doing tonight.
I'd like to see if Maxwell's interested in anything, just to bring some fresh faces in and give other people time to get other stuff done they need to get done, as far as, like, Eric's got a lot going on.
Right.
And Artur.
Jeff, what you were gonna say something?
Oh, yeah. I said, you know, the board has been, since COVID, a little relaxed and different stuff like that. I want to give credit to everybody who has done stuff and different stuff like that. You know, Silas, like I talked to you before, I think you'd be a great chair. And I think Eric would be a great second, you know, for you. And, you know, all the new things that are happening are great because you're really pushing, and Artur did a great job, but like you said, his term is over. And I think with you on the board of being chair, I think it's going to go a lot further for you because you know the industry with Eric and everything else. Now, for me as a board member, I'm stepping down. I feel that I'm just taking up a space on the board, and I have been in the hospital the last out of 4 months. I've been in the hospital 3 times, so my health is not very good at this time.
And that doesn't mean we're not going to miss you, Jeff. You bring valuable, yeah, you bring a lot of stuff to the board too.
I mean, I appreciate it because I really enjoyed being president chair at one time and then just being on the board. And I think for everybody that has contributed, and I do apologize, I haven't contributed a lot in the last year or so because of COVID and my sickness, but I know that Papa will go further with the leadership of having Silas, Eric, and whoever is new on the board. Not saying that that Artur did a great job being chair, but I think the new faces are coming in and starting to get new stuff for everything. So thank you all for everything. And thank you, Charlie, for coming in and being on the board. You know, it's a great honor to have you, you know, on the board in the first place. So I really appreciate that, and I wish you the best in the future, and all of you in the best in the future.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff, do you have like a timeline for stepping down, or should we?
Yeah, when we vote in January, you know, when it's done, when the new people come in January,
Yeah.
that's when I'll
Hey,
step in.
I
Okay.
think he's talking about effective January 1st when the
Yeah.
new board takes over.
Great.
First, yes, yeah, that way whoever is voted in can take the spot. I'll do December, and then after that, the new person can come in.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know. We really appreciate all that you've given over the years. It's been great to work
Thank
with you.
so much. I appreciate everything, and I think that, you know, it's been a great honor, like I said, being part of Papa and doing different things like that. But I've watched Papa throughout the years, and I've seen the leadership, and I've seen all the things that are happening. And I know when I talked to you last year about this, when I stepped down as president, I had talked to you about being president at that time, because I saw something in you that I think is going to lead this into the future.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yes, Jeff, I'll make just a quick echo that you've been a tremendous asset for Papa, and you definitely will be missed on the board. And, you know, we will hope that at some point, if you wanted to come back or just visit, that you're always going to be welcome. We appreciate everything that you've done.
I appreciate
Okay.
that. Thank you so much.
So does anyone have anything else they would like to throw in for the elections topic? Just want to make sure that we do message.
I did.
Mac
I sent him a text.
Darian as well.
Oh yeah.
In case. Then, if not, at least then we have 3, which would make majority of the executive board. So we would also need to.
So can I bring up probably a bad subject for some, but Brendan has shown interest in coming back in as a citizen on the board. Would you guys object to that, or I don't have an issue with Brendan at all, and I don't know if bygones can be bygones, but I think he's willing to let bygones be bygones and come in as a citizen. If you guys consider that, think about it maybe this month, and I think he can.
Just for the record, Charlie, I personally have an issue because he slandered me publicly, and I've never gotten an apology for it. He threw a bunch of stuff out there that was not true, and I personally cannot work with him. I mean, if the other board decides that he'd be good for the board, then we might have to talk about me shifting out, because I can't do it. I didn't have anything against Brendan at all. I really liked Brendan up until the point where everything blew up. I thought we were good, and then everything went public, and even during the city council meeting, he slandered me straight by name on stuff that was not true. And I have never got an apology for that, and I can't do it.
I just wanted to put it out there, so thank you.
I think one, if Brendan wants to reach out and discuss that with us, I think we should at the very least be open to having a conversation. We would need to resolve that past issue. And in fact, actually, Charlie, I know when you stepped onto the board, we were supposed to actually finish the resolution for that, and we kind of, I think, let that slide just from you not being caught up. So I think maybe that might also need to be a work session /
executive session or something.
Yeah, because
Okay. we can leave it at that, since this is a public meeting. So
yeah, I think we would need to schedule that actually relatively quickly, because we do need to have a resolution a finalized resolution. So let's.
That's fine. We can discuss it executive session. This is gonna be.
Yeah, let's do that, and let's figure out a
Thank you.
time to schedule one.
All right.
Okay. All right. So announcements for the good of the. Oh, there we go. Now I got video back. Announcements for the good of the order. Does
I got
anyone have
one.
anything they wish to share?
I
Gary,
do.
go ahead.
So as you guys know, I had tried to go after my master's degree to help along with this entire situation. My mother passing set that back. I ended up having to leave that college. I will let everybody know now that I've officially been accepted back for my master's at the Academy of Art University for script writing. I will be starting that in February, spring session, and I will be able to get my screenwriting master's for both film and television.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was official today. So that turned out nice.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Right in time for the board meeting.
Right.
Well, congratulations, Eric. That's a big accomplishment to get into that and get involved in your master's. So, congratulations again. Does anyone else have anything they wish to share?
Good.
Okay. So with that, we will adjourn the meeting. It is November 9th at 7:25 p.m. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for showing up and for participating.
Thank you. Talk next. Well, I'll talk to some of you sometimes and some of you other times.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.